General Treatment Products video training series, setting up the sensors. Now, we're going to do the input parts of this. Remember, the machine has two different portions of it. There's the input side, everything headed into it, and the output side, everything going out. So I'm going to refer to it as that way. You'll see that they're wired that way we understand. Inputs are the up arrow key. It's where our conductivity, temperature, our flow switch, and our flow meter are set. So we're going to go through the conductivity first. Conductivity. Maintenance. Okay, we have low alarms and low alarms. These alarms are based on conductivity only. They don't turn on relays. They don't turn anything on unless you set one of your relays for alarm, which you can. It's only based on the conductivity function coming in. It's not going to open up your bleed valve on that. Okay, these are just settings. So, but low at 0. And you'll see the high alarms are set at 50,000. So, you know, I recommend setting them to something that's a little bit more appropriate. If you operate in the 2,000 range, your low alarm and your incoming water say at 600, 800. Maybe you want to set this at 12. You know that the valve is open. If it ever reaches 1200, the valve has been opened. Maybe not the low alarm, but at least the low alarm. So we're going to come in here, we're going to set that at 1200. So we're going to arrow key over, up, 12, up, 1200. So normally this thing functions at about the 1500, 1200 range. You know, if it ever gets to the 1200 or below that, this alarm will go off. It'll reach up here at the top on the home screen, and at least somebody will be notified that it's stuck in a bleed cycle or something's going wrong. Okay. Same thing with the high alarms. Right now they're set at 50,000 on the high alarm and the high at 50,000. It's never bleeding. The bleed valve is stuck closed or it's clogged. You know, the high alarm really should be, if you're operating 1500, we'll say we'll make this 2000. So we're going to go in here, we're going to down arrow key this, at least to 0. You can actually go past it. We're going to go 2000. So now, if it ever gets that high of alarm will go off. It'll say high alarm. At least everybody's notified, you know. It is a nice feature to have, so if somebody ever just walks by, they'll see it at least. Deadband, this deadband is based on those alarms going off, just like you have for your deadband on your bleed. Now the deadband at 25 is kind of small. You can leave it there. I don't know, it doesn't really, again, this is a user preference. We'll say 50 microsiemens, just so you can see it as suppress the alarm suppression. You can suppress the alarm if the D1 is on. If it's in no flow and say it drains out or something like that, and you suppress the alarm if there's no flow. As long as there's flow and those first two have an alarms, go ahead and tell me. Okay, I like to leave that one on. Reset calibration values. Switching sensors, coming out every once in a while. Resetting the calibration sensors does make sense. I want to reset them. Start with a fresh, clean slate. Cal required, you can make the machine tell you that every 30 days you want to run a calibration. And not really necessary. Most of the guys that work on this will come out every 30 days, and typically they do a calibration every time. Smoothing factor. Smoothing factor is to stop the reading from jumping. As we walk out here, we know there's a lot of flow going through here. Reading jumps up and down. Cell constant 1, that is the standard sensor. Sometimes you can switch that out, or you can make somebody else's work. Cable length 3 foot. This is more like 15 inches or maybe 1 foot. So we're going to change that. This is a short cable. We're going to make it 1 foot. 22 gauge, that's very true. Default temperature 77 degrees. Cool water, maybe it's a little bit warmer. Temp compensation, NaCl. Units of measure, you can change this to read in microsiemen, millisiemen, and even ppm if you want. Okay, we're just going to return back so it leaves it at microsiemen. The name of it is CCON. You again can change it to whatever you want. You can just make it say CON. Walkham's theory is contacting conductivity. That's why it says CCON. And then the type is contacting conductivity. Conductivity sensor is set.